has just been everywhere for the UQ Rebels throughout the championships this week. Menchiki gets us underway. Sydney Scorpions first possession to kickstart us here in the Women's Open Grand Final. Shelley Davis in from half. What a tournament she's had as well. Been ever reliable for the Scorpions. Puts it out in front. And they chance their hand there early. Nice little set play coming in. Just doesn't quite come off for them. They'll burn a touch here. The Scorpions forcing the mistake from the UQ Rebels on the first touch. Now Dybel goes. Looks inside to Shelley Davis. The Sydney Scorpions. No, they'll bring it back. Forward pass on the inside ball.
Touch was called, and I'll go with the referees there.
Lucia plays it. Andreasen starting to get herself in the game. Goodsall diving in at the line. When points have been at a premium, Gab, if they can get one here straight away from the restart and go up by 2, it'll be all sorts of pressure on the Scorps.
Yeah, as we see there, Fildes. No, she hasn't made the touch, so that's a try, as you said, Scott, in the opening set. And we may see more tries in this second half. We see Lucia Fildes there.
How they're feeling at the moment, the early stages of the second half, as Norman plays it. Ellis gets herself into the in-goal area looking for support and finds it on the left-hand side. Referees are going to point to the spot. Forced to retrieve back out to the 7.
And this is probably more of the game we were expecting, where we only had a few minutes into the second half and we've already seen 2 tries. And that's what we're expecting, and now it's delivering. Here's a beautiful pass out wide.
O'Reilly straight and hard coming into the line. Mackenzie Davis kicks away off the right foot, gets into the in-goal area, needs support, slides in there and finds that support. Back with Maggie O'Reilly. Recently selected in the Australian Mixed Open team to head over to the World Cup. She's starting to be an influence here in the Grand Final, and talk about players who are influential. That is Tiani Bryce. Shaping up now as Davis comes on the sweep. Mackenzie Davis back in field. They'll be looking for phase play. They send it out. They're well covered. O'Reilly puts the brakes on. Comes off the right foot. Back to Mackenzie Davis. Feeds it to Danny Norman, who strolls over. Been pulled out here for the Rebels. They've got to be careful, though. There's still time on the clock. Mackenzie Davis almost on the outside of Rebecca Maimai. Play on is the call. She was short of the line. The Sydney Scorpions have levelled things up here in the Women's Grand Final.
And, of course, they went to Mackenzie Davis, and she's hard enough to defend 6-on-6. But when it's 6-on-5 as we go back to the action, even Stevens. Scott, what are we going to see in the last 10 seconds?
Well, they're still going to have one final crack here, the Rebels. They've already made their way downfield. Andreasen, Hooter sounds in the background. We go into Bristol Paints extra time. Well, how fitting. What a comeback from the Sydney Scorpions. Down by 2 during stages there in the second half. They level it up, that mountain of pressure, back-to-back sets, attacking the line too much for the Rebels. Into extra time we go, Gab.
Yeah, and I think everybody in the crowd, and I know, Scott, you and I...
Possession. Big defensive play needed here from the Scorpions.
Yeah, because with only 4 players on the field, obviously, Scott, it opens up the space, and these players with the footwork and ball skills they have there, it's super hard to defend. It's a great touch from Hannah Dybel.
Lucia, ball in hand. It's Hinarungi who's directing things at the moment. Tiani Bryce on the sweep. Back inside to Hinarungi. Andreasen. UQ Rebels strike first here in extra time. Mackenzie Davis, Hannah Dybel, Maria Ellis, Danny Norman. The 4 on the field here for the Scorpions. They need to score this set. Can they stay in this Women's Grand Final? Mackenzie Davis, what a performance. It's beat for her. She takes them on. She has levelled it up. This young superstar. It's 3-on-3 now to decide who are going to be the Women's Champions.
And they've still got a few touches up the sleeve. So UQ Rebels are definitely in the driver's seat here. They've got a few touches. They've got to try not to waste. As you can see, the Scorpions trying to race up outside that 7.
They come to Tiani Bryce. Right foot gets away on the outside. Shelley Davis, she's claiming the touch. She doesn't get it. Zach Jenrick points to the spot. The University of Queensland Rebels have won the Women's Open Championship in a dramatic extra time period. Their first national championships. What a game.
What an absolutely great game. You can see the celebration, the smiles on the face of the UQ Rebels. There's hugs all around, and credit to the Sydney Scorpions. It's very hard to defend your line with 6 on 6, but when it's down to 3 on 3, it's near impossible with the strike power that the UQ Rebels